life was one thing. And we decided we weren't going to take that anymore. Starting right now, we're going to demand more out of life.
This is a scene from Netflix's recently released series called Monster. It's a dramatization of the murders of Jose and Kitty Menendez at the hands of their sons, Erik and Lyle.
Erik slammed Netflix and Hollywood producer Ryan Murphy for what he calls a dishonest portrayal of his parents' murders and his character. And his wife, Tammy Menendez, released a statement on his behalf on the social media platform X, saying in part, "In Erik's words, I believe we had moved beyond the lies and ruinous character portrayals of Lyle, creating a caricature of Lyle rooted in horrible and blatant lies rampant in the show. I can only believe they were done so on purpose. It is with a heavy heart that I say I believe Ryan Murphy cannot be this naive and inaccurate about the facts of our lives so as to do this without bad intent."
It has also been reported that reality star and prison reform advocate Kim Kardashian visited the Menendez brothers in prison along with one of the actors from the series. The brothers were convicted in 1996 for murdering their parents. Their first trial ended in a hung jury. The brothers testified that they were sexually abused by their parents in that first trial. Here's some of their testimony.
Between the ages of 6 and 8, did your father have sexual contact with you?
Yes.
And how did it start?
Just started with, after sports practices, he would massage me. And we would have these talks, and he would show me, and he would fondle me, and he would ask me to do the same with him, and I would touch him, and we would undress.
My dad came in and told me to take off my clothes and to kneel on the bed. And he closed the blinds and he put the slide underneath the door like he always did. And he told me to bend over the footboard.
Now, by the second trial, their allegations of sexual abuse were severely limited, and the brothers were convicted of murder. But now they're fighting to get a new trial. The defense has found a letter that Erik allegedly wrote to his cousin, Andy Kano, years ago about being abused by his father, as way back as 1988. Now, Kano has since passed away.
Now the brothers hope the newly found letter, along with claims by a member of the group Menudo that Jose molested him, would be enough to reopen the case. Erik and Lyle are currently serving life sentences without the possibility of parole. Let's bring back in criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor Marie Pereira to discuss. You know, there was an immediate outcry as people were watching Monsters, meaning an outcry by the family, these two brothers serving life in prison without parole. Did you believe his testimony during that first trial, Lyle's testimony that he'd been sexually abused by his father?
No, I didn't believe it. But when I heard about the existence of the letter predating the entire incident, I'm tending to think that was something very material. And if the jurors had information concerning that, it might have made a difference in the verdict. And also the allegations against his father by another young man really might have made a difference in the eyes of the jurors too. Because when you don't have any proof that the father did that to them other than the words of two people who were accused of committing this heinous murder, it makes it easier for a jury to say, well, you know what? You guys did that to your father because you are greedy, and that's that. You just have no conscience. But if they had that information, they would have been able to weigh it to see, did the victim commit these heinous acts against his own children? And they didn't have that information. So if the letter is authenticated and we can prove that he wrote it to his deceased family member before, it would help them at least to mitigate the situation, and it might have lessened the sentence.
Yeah, not only lessen the sentence, I think what might happen if a new trial is allowed, one of the things that could happen here is they're presented, allowed to present more evidence about this alleged abuse. And the jury, with the new ideas we have regarding abuse and how people feel in those situations, a jury could easily say, you know what? We think that objectively, you weren't really, there wasn't any real threat to your life, but we understand subjectively that you thought there was. That really is a manslaughter conviction, which really the maximum sentence is about 10 years or so. They could win that trial, get a manslaughter conviction, and be let out of jail.
That makes a lot of sense. And if, again, that letter is authenticated and the accusations against the deceased father are corroborated, this could be a situation where they would deserve a new trial. And like you said, Michael, it would just change the entire situation into what subjectively they felt if, in fact, they proved that he was doing that to them. What was their mind state at the time?
And that's exactly why you have rules for newly discovered evidence and things that you can do and motions that you can file. Now, when we're looking at this and looking at monsters that's come out, how much does that affect kind of public opinion to put any pressure on the system to allow this new evidence to be considered, or does it not?
It doesn't. In fact, it makes them look bad. Yeah. And I think, his family is saying the people who produced it, they're lying, they're embellishing, they're doing it for the views, and the public is looking at it. So it's not helping them at all that they portrayed them to be such monsters, the title of this Netflix series. It doesn't help them at all. And I hope that whoever produced it really did the research. I haven't seen it, but it sounds like it really, really runs them in the ground and ruins any possibility that anybody would have any empathy for them at all.
That's fair, but I will say this, the idea that it really plays up this idea that there might have been some abuse going on by this father. I think it could actually push public opinion towards giving these guys an opportunity to have the opportunity to get out of jail at some point. Right now, they're in jail for the rest of their lives without the possibility of parole.
But the way the film or the series portrayed them, to me, makes them look unlikable, disgusting, like they had no remorse at all. That maybe they were victims, but they went on to hurt people, sort of thing. And it just didn't, to me, make it like somebody that you would feel sorry for.
Yeah, you wouldn't have any sympathy after watching that Monsters, the parts I've seen. All right, thank you to Marie Pereira for joining us tonight.